Hey, this is John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. I'm with Alicia Bognanno from the band Bully, Sub Pop recording artist here in Nashville, Tennessee for a show. Alicia, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's hear about this very cool guitar.
Cool. So this is a, actually Bluesman is a company based out of Springfield. I think it's called Springfield, Tennessee. It's 45 minutes outside of Nashville, but this was given to me as a gift. I've actually never been to the store, so, but I think it's just a small company, and what they do is pretty much, this is pretty much a Frankenstein guitar. It's like a Squire 51 body, and then I don't know what the modifications are on this neck that they did, but you've got your single coil here and the humbucker, and I always play all the way over on my humbucker, but if you want to mix it up and get, typically humbuckers are a little beefier and thicker, and single coils are thinner and brighter, so I'm usually always over here, but sometimes I'll switch over if I'm writing.
Oh, okay, so is it, so that's a volume and this is like a switch?
Yeah, this is just my pickup selector.
Oh, okay, like a rotary, oh, that's cool.
There's actually no tone knob on this one.
Oh yeah, so it's just wide open.
Yep.
Tone is volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
And yeah, I really love it. It's, like I said, it was my first electric guitar that
Really?
was given to me as a gift. I had played before, but I was just playing friends' guitars, and I can't really, I've never been able to move apart from it. I think it sounds really good, and it means a lot, and it's really durable, and it stays in tune pretty well, so.
Yeah, I'm amazed because it's kind of cold in here, and it had been here like overnight.
Yeah.
And when you picked it up, it was in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
great.
yeah, very impressive. Cool. Okay, so that's easy enough. That's your go-to.
This is my go-to. Yeah.
And you're plugged into this vintage Bassman. What's the story on this?
You want me to show you my backup too? Just
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Why not? Let's see it.
So I have a few, but this is one of my favorites. This is one of the Fender offset guitars.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a short scale neck, and it's really lightweight, and it feels really good, and I like playing it because it's super small. But over here, I had this pickup put into it, but it usually comes with a humbucker over here and your single coil, and here's your pickup selectors and your volume and your tone knob, but even their stock pickup that comes with it is really beefy and sounds really good and is pretty hot. So this is an awesome backup, and I really like it. It's really comfortable.
Yeah, and it's roughly the same pickup configuration as your number one.
Yeah.
So that's got to be an easy switch.
Yeah,
between
totally.
the two.
They're pretty similar. I really love Jazzmasters, and I have a bunch at home, but these two, as far as how close they are in tone, are pretty similar. So
do you switch for songs or just when you break a string? Or?
Well, I should switch. I actually play in standard, drop E and drop C, so I've had guitars set up for C and have planned on switching, but I always just come back to this guitar. I don't know. There's just something about the tone, and even if you have a guitar that's really similar, it's still just going to sound a little bit different through the pedal board. So in theory, I should, but I don't.
So once you're hunkered in, you like just
I just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're singing and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who wants to deal with changing that? Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, now let's talk about this Bassman. What year is it?
It's a 71.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I love that head. I had this channel modded to add a middle, but I just kind of like everything still just stick with the basic one. So this is the one that I usually use, just the channel that wasn't modded. But if you do want some sort of mid control, you can switch over and it's there. But I really like it because it's super crunchy and it'll break up around 3, and it's just really nice. I mean, honestly, I don't really ever need to have it past 3. So, but yeah, I like it. It's really durable. And then those are really old. That's a really old Marshall cab.
Oh, great. With the stock old Celestians in it. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's talk about your pedal board.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear about this pedal board. Oh, we'll give you a second to.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm good. So first it starts at the tuner. Duh. But this is actually the TU3, which I specifically got. I have a backup TU that I keep here just in case, but this model is actually supposed to have it does have a ultra brightness mode, which is really helpful if you're playing festivals because,
Right.
when the sun hits, you pretty much can't see your tuner.
Yeah.
So I just got this before the second record cycle started. And then this I just keep on here for backup. This is also for backup. It's a backup distortion, and I'll explain kind of how this one sounds after I go through these. But it starts with this. This is a Greer amps distortion. Actually, I have had it ever since I started touring with Bully, and it's never broken on the road. So it's,
All right.
I would say, the most durable distortion I've played. But it's really beefy, and it's really thick. I would say it's just, some distortions are a little bit gnarlier and they can scoop out the lows. This one is just, it keeps it in there.
Yeah, that's the problem. So many overdrives and distortions they're all high end.
Yeah. This one is really good for that since obviously, I'm all humbucker through the basement. Like I just prefer a thicker tone, and this one happens to be
Let's hear that thing a little bit.
So.
Yeah, it sounds great, and it's got a real clarity to it, too.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it. And I think they're out of Athens, Georgia, so pretty close. But so then after that is the Acapulco Gold, which is a Earth Waker's pedal, and that's another distortion, but that one is a lot gnarlier and like uncontrollable. It'll squeal, and it's fucking Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You can say fucking.
It's it's fucking awesome. It's really cool. But I usually play this in the set if I'm taking it up from. So
you like layer them?
Yeah. So this will be like if I'm. Well, I'll just show you like an example of kind of going from. Usually if I'm going from chords into a lead part or something, I'll click this on. Or like in the chorus of a song Running, I start on the chords and then it goes to lead, and I'll click it on when I go to lead, so it just cuts. But this one's like... So, as you can hear, just like... And it's really cool if you ever want feedback, which in between songs we usually do, I can turn that on. And there's a part at the end of Running too where it's like, I'll have this on, and then I also have the reverb on for Running, which we'll get to next, but I'll have this on, and you can just like ring it out and really control it.
Sure, that's great.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
And you almost get these kind of overtones, with that fuzz. It feels almost like polyphonic even on those single notes. Yeah, that's cool.
And this one that's not plugged in, it's a Violet Smith. It's not working right now, but that is like it meets those two in between.
Okay.
It's a little bit more mid-rangey than this one, and it's a little less wild than this one. So just to give you an idea of what that's like.
Cool.
So after that, I have this Rogue analog delay, which I got for, I think, $30 off of eBay when I was in college.
It looks very pawn shop-y.
Yeah. And I just like it because they're level control, so actually it will boost the level.
Oh, cool.
And in a lot of delays, it'll just be kind of more of like a mix control. Like a wet versus dry, and so this one is actually cool because I don't click it on as much anymore, but sometimes we'll click it on for lead stuff and it'll give it a boost, so that's nice, and it just like... So it's pretty subtle, but it's there.
Yeah, it sounds great, and amazingly, there's no like noise or buzz or hiss. It's really a quiet board.
Yeah, it's great.
As punky as it looks, it's not really noisy.
I don't even have any like weird ground stuff under there or anything. It's just not very noisy, but I guess a lot of that is like my pickups aren't very noisy. But after that's a Ghost Echo, which is a reverb, which... There's one song where I'm just clean and I'll use it for chords if I'm just clean, and then other stuff I use it for a lead. But it's also a Earthquaker's pedal, and it's a Ghost Echo, and it's just really nice and clean and simple. It's just got your depth. your dwell and your attack. So yeah, it's just like, if here's, so yeah, I don't know. It's like simple. I can show you. It sounds cooler with like. Like, it sounds cooler when you're going to lead stuff because it just, whatever. I mean, it makes it.
Yeah, fattens it up.
Yeah, it fattens
great.
it up and like swells it out a little bit and makes it less obvious if you fuck up.
Sure, yeah.
It just sounds better.
That's the secret of pedals.
Yeah.
That's why I love them.
Yeah, that's what I have for now. I have a bunch. I actually have like a crazy amount of distortions at my house, and they get a lot more. I have ones that are just like, have every meticulous control that you could imagine on them. But this is what I've been sticking with for now. But I change my pedal board pretty frequently, and definitely with albums we'll change it. So like when we're documenting the songs, when we use different pedals for each songs, we write them all down, and then when we're trying to figure out how we're gonna do the record live, we go back and then cater our boards to what we used most for the record. So
yeah, that's a good system. And you're using that MXR DC brick.
yeah, actually I really love this brick. This is also the other thing that has never broken on tour, and it's really small, so that's nice. The Voodoo boxes are great, but I've had a couple of them break. This one is just, I don't know if it's just because it's smaller or what, but it's been, it's treated me well so far, so I decided to stick with it.
Yeah, and again, quiet. That's great. I
Yeah.
mean, like there's no 60 cycle anything. That's great.
Yeah, it's super
All
cool.
right. Well, very cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us
Yeah,
today, and
yeah.
congrats, and
Thanks.
you know, enjoy the crazy journey.
Cool, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, now we're with Clayton Parker, the band Bully. Clayton, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Yeah, of course.
Let's hear about this guitar.
Yeah, this is a early 2000s Jazzmaster. Just kind of been beat up a little bit. It's got some nicks and dings on it.
Sure.
But,
Did you get it new or?
I bought it used, yeah, on Craigslist actually.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah. But the only really mod I did is this is a mastery bridge.
Boy, that's the mod to make.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's that guy who makes them in Minneapolis, and yeah, it's just helped with the sustain and the fret buzz and everything.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's
pretty much original. Yeah, I've had a couple little minor things just from being a little too crazy and throwing it around.
sure.
But yeah,
as
other than that,
one does.
yeah. But other than that, it's pretty much stock. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And would you consider that your number one?
It's my number one. Yeah, I got this, I guess, 2 years ago, and ever since I got it, I was like, I can't really go back to anything else. But
Great.
yeah.
What strings are you running on it?
These are 11s, D'Addarios.
Okay.
Yeah. So I found that I was starting to bend a lot more, so I needed like a thicker gauge string to
Yeah.
kind of keep up with all that. So, but yeah.
So, okay, and so we're not on this one.
Yeah, not on this one. This is a Squire Mustang,
Oh, wow.
which has
And it's a short scale?
short scale. Yeah. And the bridge has been like fixed, so the tremolo arm doesn't work
Oh,
on
okay.
it.
That probably makes it a lot more stable.
It does make it a lot more stable for tuning and everything. Yeah, it's a great guitar.
Has the pickup been changed in the...
I think it has been. It's strange. I was given this guitar by an old landlord.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of like a last minute situation where I had to move out early, and he was like, oh, well, since you moved out early but already paid rent, here, have this. So it was kind of like an okay trade. I was like,
Yeah, that's a good landlord.
yeah. So it's a great guitar. I love it. It sounds totally different than any other Mustang I've ever played. So
Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
do you know how old that one is?
I don't. I honestly, I know it's probably not that old. Probably within the last 10 years or so, 10 or 20.
Is it a bit of adjustment going from that shorter scale to the other one?
No, because I don't think so. No, I used to play a short scale bass, so that kind of
Oh,
helped
sure.
with, switching from this. Also, the first guitar I learned on was 65 Music Master.
Oh, cool.
So that was a short scale also. So
Wow.
that kind of...
Do you still have the Music Master?
It's my dad's, yeah. He
Oh,
still
that's
has
great.
it. Yeah. It's a really great guitar. It's been beat up as well, but
Yeah.
it was a great one to learn on. So
Sure.
yeah.
It's cool. Okay. Well, two cool guitars.
Yeah.
And then amp-wise.
Amp-wise, this is a Fender 410 DeVille. It's a great amp. It's a power horse.
Those are great amps.
Yeah, they're just super stable, and every time anything goes wrong, just take it to like any of the nearest music shops, and they all have the parts on them, which is great. But yeah, it's just super loud. It's got great tone.
No modifications to it. Just
no mods.
change tubes when
exactly.
when they're
Little
dying.
things go wrong, or it bounces around in the trailer too much, and a tube comes loose or something.
Yeah.
You just have to get that checked out. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty stock.
Now, do you all carry, I know Alicia's got her amp and you've got yours, but do you all have a backup in case anything goes?
Yeah. She's got her backup. I have actually the exact same amp as a backup.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
consistency.
it was, when thinking about that, I was like, I want to make sure that it's just the same thing. I don't have to worry about it. I just turn it on. My settings are the same, so I don't have to worry about anything. It's great.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, that's very streamlined. Now your pedalboard. Let's talk about this.
Pedalboard. Okay, so we got the tuner, of course, chromatic Boss tuner TU3, and then going into is an MXR Super Badass.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the distortion.
Let's hear that then.
Yeah. So this is just clean. Cool pedal because it's got the volume and your distortion, but then it also gives you EQ, so you have bass, mid, and treble on there. So you can kind of dial in the tone as you're playing it.
Sure, and I see you give yourself a little bit of a mid boost too.
Yeah. So I play a lot of MIDI high guitar parts, so that helps with that for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
I had a tube screamer, but that thing broke, so then I had to switch to this, and need to get that tube screamer fixed, but
that's just the way it is,
it's
man.
so great. Yeah.
It's the grind of the road. Really,
totally.
It's hard on pedals.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there into the Big Muff.
Yeah, into a Russian black Big Muff.
Wow.
Which the only really mod I had to do on that was I got a power supply put on it, so I can run it. It's not running on a battery anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because all the old ones run on a battery, so that's like been the saving grace. Because there's definitely been times when we were getting ready to play a show, and I go to plug in, and it's like it's not working.
Yeah.
And turns out it's the battery, and like if you don't have a little screwdriver, it's just kind of a pain. So I usually have the MXR on, and then to boost that into like a, just for lead parts and just kind of heavier things. It's just kind of, so this is.
Yeah, that is really dirty.
Yeah, it's. I think somebody mentioned that, it's like, you're just really dirty. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty much. Once I got this, I started playing. I kind of took a break from guitar, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start playing guitar again. I was like, oh, I want to get a Big Muff, and then I got this, and I haven't been able to go back since then.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah. So then in from there is a carbon copy MXR analog delay. So that's just it's pretty subtle right now.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. And then, so after that is Earthquaker pedals. It's the Bose, which is a Geranium preamp.
Oh, okay.
It's a cool pedal. I usually just use it as another boost. So there's a treble mode and there's a full mode, and I usually just keep it on the full mode.
Okay.
But so there'll be parts in songs where I go to do a solo or something. So then it's like. So it's just another kind of level to everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is pumping out some volume at that point.
There's definitely parts in songs where it's like it's got to go to that next level, and that's kind of, we talked about that with recording this last album, and this pedal is just doing that so well.
Great.
So from there, it's the MXR Phase 90.
Love that.
Yeah, great phaser pedal. Just a. I keep it pretty subtle.
Sure.
Just light for a couple songs.
Do you use that normally when you're clean or dirty or
It'll
both?
be dirtier.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, I don't use it a whole lot, but when it's used, it comes in so handy.
Oh, they're so great.
Yeah. And I had played in a band with a guy that had one, and I was like, if I'm gonna get one, I'm gonna get that because it just sounded so great.
Yeah. Yeah, Van Halen, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, Eddie, man. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, and then you're ending with?
Ending with the Neo clone. It's just a chorus pedal. Also pretty just subtle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, and then you got. It's really great. It's kind of just a backup pedal. I use it just sparingly, but when
Sure.
it's used, it's been go-to. Especially because, I don't know, I think some guitar pedals these days, it's like there's 7, 8, 9 knobs on them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on half the time. So,
Sure,
yeah.
I agree.
Some of these
simplicity.
smaller simplistic pedals are really they work and they do a great job and they sound great.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it does. It sounds great. What are you powering them all with?
The powering, so
It's like hidden underneath
yeah,
there?
I kind of modded it. It doesn't look great, but it's a brick,
Okay,
MXR
okay,
brick.
sure.
Yeah. So I had a different power supply and it was mounted on the board and I was like, well, that's taking up so much space.
Yeah.
And I added this Bose in, so then I just got a new power supply and mounted it on the bottom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's great.
yeah.
Well, man, thanks so much for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
Okay, now we're with Reece Lazarus of the band Bully. Reece, thanks for joining us.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, let's hear about this bass.
All right, this is the lead bass. This is P bass, American P bass Deluxe, from either 2013 or 2014. Yeah, I bought it new.
Oh, very cool.
I got a crazy deal on it because the store I bought it from told me that no one would buy it because they all wanted the 5-string model. So
Really?
it was like 25% off.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
which
4
was
strings way
awesome.
cooler.
I asked
Yeah.
him why, and he said that you get laughed out of a country session if you don't have a 5-string.
Oh, that's
and I
nonsense.
was like, that's cool. I'm
Yeah,
not doing a country session.
yeah. You want to be laughed out of a
Yeah.
country session. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, so I'm the only one who's had it. I love this thing.
Have you done any mods to it, or?
No. I haven't messed with it. I mean, there's some stuff missing. That's like some unintentional mods.
Sure, yeah, that's just road
yeah.
wear.
But no, it has an active side, but I use the passive side on the road just to simplify things.
Sure.
Yeah, and mostly on the P pickup, tone all the way up.
Yeah, absolutely. And what strings are you running on it?
These are D'Addario medium on the bottom, light on the top.
Okay.
Steels.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
So that's your number one?
This is the one. Yeah. This one sounds the best. These pickups are incredible. I really like. I've tried a few other ones, and I've never been this happy about
Yeah.
it.
And it's such a classic tone and such a classic look. I love those basses.
Yeah. I mean, PJ has always been my thing.
Yeah.
Like I can't. My first bass was a PJ, and then every bass I've had since then has always been a PJ.
Sure.
But this one is like the smoothest, most even all around the neck.
Oh, that's great.
That I've ever had. So.
Great. And when you're not on that as a backup, you
So
got
this is
this.
This is not actually a PJ. It was just a P bass, and Fender was nice enough to give us a few. Yeah, this string is. Give us a couple guitars when we played with Best Coast at the Wiltern.
Sure.
And I got this P bass, and I had a guy, Dave from Scale Model Guitars, put this J bass
cool.
pickup in the
To
guitar
match your other one.
because
Okay.
I was like, I need it. I have to have that.
Sure.
And we redid the wiring, so this is actually just a tone knob, or like a volume knob for each of these. So it used to be volume and tone, now there's just 2 volume knobs
Oh, okay.
for both the pickups.
So you can just kind of feather in
yeah.
which either one.
And I swapped the pickguard out for a double blue.
Yeah, love
'Cause,
that. Yeah, what a great.
It's pretty nice looking.
Yeah, that is a That is a great bass.
Yeah, it sounds great too. It's a little bit more. It has like a little bit more of an edge, like a little bit treblier than this one. But yeah, great backup.
Yeah, great. But do you prefer your old one because it's just you're used to it, or is it a tone thing? Or?
I think this one isn't quite as even, and like it's something about not having the native J pickup. Like it doesn't quite work the way I want it to.
Sure.
But I'm totally like I've played it live a bunch, and I'm totally happy with it as a backup.
Well, and it looks killer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Okay. And then as far as your amp goes, you're running this Gallon-Kruger.
Yeah, the GK800 discontinued.
Oh, very
and so I've also always been like into solid states and used GKs most of the time. I got this one off eBay, and I had to do a couple of things to fix it. They're kind of a pain to fix, and a couple other people I know who play them like to have a couple around. They're
Sure.
only like 400, 450 usually if you get a good deal on it, but yeah, they're like. They don't really make the parts anymore. You got to get someone to kind of custom make some stuff.
I wonder how old that amp is. Any idea what?
I don't know what year it is. They made them for a long time. That's one of the like probably middle models. It's not the earliest I've seen, but the later ones have like the plastic's like grayer and I don't know. They changed a few things about the look on the face.
There was a time when these were like everywhere. They're like the standard of the industry. Everybody was using them.
They have new ones that are like kind of similar, but I'd like the way this one. I really like the boost on these things. That's like what it's there for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was sounding great, and you're running into this
Fender 810. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's.
Is that a new cab or an old one?
It's pretty new. It's like maybe 2 years old. We got it new a couple years ago. It's incredible. It weighs less than 100 pounds.
Really?
It's like the best touring 810 you could ever have. There's handles in the bottom. I love that thing for how easy it is to use.
Yeah.
The speakers are like, also, there's not as much low end as like a nice old Ampeg 810 or something. There's a horn volume on the back. And
really?
I have that all the way down because it's still like there's plenty of pop without that. But yeah, as far as like ease of touring, it is like you could not beat it.
And they look so cool.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic bass.
Totally. That's great. Okay, so great. Now let's talk about your pedal board.
Yeah.
You're starting with the
standard tuner.
Yeah, T3. Okay.
And then that goes into the Rat, which doesn't get used on its own. It only gets used on top of the Big Muff, which is next. So I'll talk about the Big Muff first.
Yeah.
I like bass distortions that have both the dry and the wet going through them. So this one is set on dry, and that I feel like it always loses too much power if you lose the clean sound when you
absolutely. If it's exclusively with just the dirt, you almost lose the presence of the note. Okay. That's cool.
I used to use, I think Peyton has it somewhere, this Arian bass distortion, which automatically did the same thing, but it's a plastic pedal from the 80s, and they're only like $30, but I've broken 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is just like a beast, and it totally works.
Yeah, they're made. Plastic pedals will just disintegrate.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear the Big Muff and then stack that Rat on top. Let's hear like you would.
So that's the kind of boosty distortion when that happens. So that's for the like really crazy aggressive. It also has like, the Rat has a lot of feedback on it. Like so.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but also like at just a little bit at the right moment, it'll like.
Totally.
Yeah.
And do you mostly play with a pick, kind of driving
Bully?
Like
yeah,
that?
for Bully, there's like maybe one song I've recorded with fingers, but it's more like it's always faster and just the like the huge attack on it. It's easier
Sure.
with the pick.
Yeah, just driving like that. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And then after the big muff, you run into
Yeah, this Earthquaker tone job, which is just a sweepable EQ, and it's there. It's always on, and it's mostly there just for me to adjust to different rooms.
Okay, that makes sense.
It does a lot, but I try to only use it if I walk in a room like it needs help somewhere or something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah. And then the Sans amp.
The Sans amp is like my best friend ever.
Yeah.
Like you can't play. It helps the solid state so much.
Sure.
It's almost like I don't turn that off either. That's driving a lot of the tone.
Yeah. And are you actually sending part of that signal in front of the house?
That's always that's where I send the DI from, especially if I get a mic on the cab, because the mics always sound better with the like distortion, crunchy stuff, and then this will be to fill out the low end, real clean bass
That's
sound.
great to combine them both and give your front of house
A couple
opportunity
options.
to sing and blend or whatever works best.
Yeah.
Great. And Voodoo Labs powering.
Yeah, that's Clay's old power brick. Yeah.
Yeah. Great, man.
Turn it over.
Great. Yeah. Lean and mean, all you need.
Pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, man, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.